We give all the glories to the Lord. Let us bless each other. Have peace in your heart. You are the one who will do the evangelism and to save this world. And the latter glory of this house will be greater than the former one. Through Korean Thanksgiving, then you had a really great time with your family and your family members. Even you had suffered a lot in the past, but you will gain strength through the power that God gives you. And everything will be renewed. As a saved ones, and then we will enjoy the true peace and true rest from the Lord, and we'll start this new week with His glory. The Torah of the Old Testament, the most precious word, in the Old Testament and New Testament, is that God is with us. In all matters, God is with us. And in all seasons, God will be with us, and God will be with us forever. Whoever confirms these blessings, no matter what kind of circumstances they are under, they will enjoy peace, and they will be thankful for the Lord. The thing that you must find around you is that you must be joyful always. You must pray in all matters. You must be thankful in all matters. So in your working fields and in your fields, you must find this blessing. The more you find these blessings, to the extent that in which you can find these blessings, then you can open the door to the answers. As much as you can find these blessings, then you will find the true rest out of your life. In this world, there is no true rest, and people are dying because of these fake things. Even they are successful, they still cannot find this true rest. In the modern society, people have their vacation time, but they do not have any true rest. Because of the lacking of this true rest, even they have this vacation time, still they are very tired and exhausted. And on Saturday and Sunday, they do not have any true peace. Still, they are more tired on Mondays because they do not have any true peace in Him. It's not done by your efforts, or when you endure, you cannot get this. If you just endure this, then you will get sick. The true peace is just given, will be given to you by God. And true blessing of this is of the rest must be done and given to you. So you must find this blessing. First of all, God has given you the true rest from the beginning. Even you find any problems and difficulties, you must endure with this true happiness, a true rest. Day by day, you must ask yourself then whether you have true rest or not. Why did God come down to this earth? Matthew chapter 11 verse 20. Last week we just mentioned this. And come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So Jesus tried to give you the rest. So Jesus came down to this earth to give you rest. So before all your problems, then you must cast down all the yoke on him. Then you must find true rest. They must go forward with this, enjoying this true rest. You must check, you must confirm that whether you have this true rest or not. That is a spiritual standard of the spiritual status of believers. Before you do something, then you must rest. You must enjoy this true rest. And before doing the missions, then you must enjoy this rest that God has promised. Where does this true rest come from? God is always trying to set us free from all these problems to enjoy the rest, which is a true rest. What are you tied up for? Everyone is tied up for their sins and original sins, the background of hell, and the destiny of Satan. While listening to the message, then we talked about this pirate ship, the background of hell and Satan. If we are not free from all these problems, then there is no true rest. So we are all tied up for these disasters, the background of hell, and the destiny of Satan. As long as you stay in these problems, no matter you are, how diligent you are, how conscious you are, how nice you are, it's all these are all sin. If you are on the pirate ship, still you are working really hard, and you are conscious, but still you are in the pirate ships, then you listen to the pirates. Well, all these things that you are doing is sin. So first of all, you must get out of these disasters and the background of hell and Satan. That is true happiness, true rest that you can enjoy out of these three problems. And the Sabbath is first thing. God created creatures complete. God made all these creatures without lacking and complete being. So in Genesis chapter 1, that God said, with His words, God created all the creatures, and He was pleased with all His creatures. And I keep saying this, He was pleased with these all creatures. That is complete, and all the complete masterpiece God created. It was written in the Bible. Genesis chapter 1, 26-28, God created man and women. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, on behalf of God, men are supposed to govern and manage all these creatures. God granted all the creatures to the hands of the human beings. So in this blessings, God made these creatures of men. And we can communicate with God. We have a relationship with God. So we are the spiritual being. So we call it, we are created by His own image. And verse 27 says, 28 says that we have the authority and the ability to conquer the creatures on earth and in the sky. That is Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. You must conquer and manage all the creatures of the earth. You must communicate with God. You must have a relationship with God. Then you can conquer all the creatures on earth. So from the beginning, as His promise that He gave us this rest to us. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Then thus the heaven and earth was finished, and all the host of them. Then on the seventh day He finished His work, and as He has done, and He rested on the seventh day from all His work and He had done. And so He blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God rested from all His work and He had done in creation. God created everything on earth, and He granted all these things unto the hand of the man. And He rested on the seventh day. So it is God who made this seventh day rest. It's not that because He was tired, but because He created all the creatures, and He celebrated all the creatures by looking at it. And He rested on the seventh day. And it's the day that we can communicate with God. And He made this day, the rest day, to communicate with us. And He made this day to let us worship Him. God made this seventh day. It's not the day that God was resting because He was tired. Then we must communicate with God and must enjoy the blessings. And we must enjoy the blessings. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 and 28. God gave this rest to us. So for human beings, whether they are non-believers and believers, all the creatures, we have the kind of hidden DNA in us to rest. Because God let us have this rest. So all the human beings have the rhythm of being rest. If they are out of this rest, then they are non-believers or believers, they will suffer. They just work for 6 days and they just rest on the seventh day. And all these DNAs are imprinted in all human beings. Even they are believers and non-believers. We have this DNA. So we must get into this rest after working 6 days. And you really have the true rest in you. In the late 18th century, there was a French Revolution, and all the atheists didn't. It was governed by all the atheists. And they just thought themselves like they just worked 6 days and they need to rest on the seventh, but they just thought that they need to work on the seventh day. And before this, and the atheists who governed these French revolutions, they tried to destroy the tradition of the Christianity. So the economy is demolishing and it's not economical, so we need to work for 9 days and we will rest 1 day. And even they changed the calendar. That happened in the history of France. But what happened to France? And people got stressed a lot, and the result, there are so many bandits and robberies and killing people, and even they just have a revolution. They just uproared, so they just changed this schedule again back to the normal. That means whether you are believers or non-believers, you have the DNA of the rest. And God is the master of rest. Even God doesn't need this rest to give this rest to human beings. We are given this rest. And through this day, all the people, through Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 and 8, and we must enjoy these blessings. So we are given this Sabbath day. But we were separated from God and we committed sins and we lost sense of this rest. And Genesis chapter 1, verse 2 says that we get into this all these darkness. Even it seems like we are successful, but still we still feel empty in us because we lost the sense of rest. The serpent, the evil spirit of serpent, tried to seduce people, then tried to make them separated from God, and they just seduced the people by saying this, that you can be like God. So they were deceived by this serpent, and they were separated from God. They fall into this Genesis chapters 3, 6, and 11. What is Genesis chapter 3? They were self-centered. It is self-centered. So they were separated from God, and they became self-centered, and they were deceived by themselves. And Genesis chapter 6, and they're word-centered, and they're physical-centered, and the background of Nephilim, and they were worshipping idols. They were possessed by this also a sense of Nephilim, and they were deceived by the world in the end. And so many people got successful, but they were deceived by all this fake success given by Satan. And they lost the sense of this rest, so they just faced all the problems. Because the lack of this rest day, Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, God gave this solution. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. And as a child of God, you must enjoy this true rest. But they don't have this true rest, and God realized that they need the rest. All who labor and are heavy laden to come to me, and I will give you rest. Because he found that there is no rest in them. And true rest, out of the lacking sense of true rest, and then they made the religions. People are struggling and try to find their ultimate goals, and they found the religions. But religions all take away all the rest out of the hands of people. And they make these religions actually make people misunderstand the true rest. Not only these religions take away all this rest and try to give them more burdens. And religions is giving more yoke and more labor unto people. Matthew 11, chapter 28, the Pharisees, Jesus said to them. But actually, religious people, they are giving more yoke and labor unto the Israel people. So Jesus said to the Pharisees, then they all come to me who are labor and are heavy laden. They didn't get to know about this true rest, so they just failed to find this true rest. They're always struggling day by day then. God is breaking the law to let them understand the true rest. Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. And the offspring of a woman will crush the head of the Satan. And through offspring of a woman, he just broke all these destinies of the Satan. He came down to this earth and said to Adam, and offspring of a woman will crush the head of the Satan means that God will restore the birth, Genesis chapter 1 to 27 to 28. And through the worship, God really wants people to enjoy this, but through Cain and Abel died, but he enjoyed a true rest. Cain didn't actually enjoy this true rest. And what about Noah? Noah was by making this ark, he enjoyed his true rest. Genesis chapter 6 verse 14. When you get into the ark, so make yourself an ark of copper wood to make rooms for in the ark. So when you get into this ark, then you will enjoy the true rest. And even in this modern time, then the things that we need the most is the true rest given by Christ. And true rest will be onto your life in the name of Jesus Christ. And it was promised in the beginning, but we lost this because of the Satan. And by breaking the head of Satan, God, Christ, let us restore these blessings of true rest whenever we grab hold of this covenant of Christ under any kind of circumstances. We can enjoy the true rest and true Sabbath day, and these blessings will be enjoyed by the step of you. And second, and experiencing the true rest through the Sabbath day. In the Old Testament, the Israelites and the Jewish people they thought that the Sabbath day must be this Saturday, the last day of the week. But we are not observing the Sabbath day, but we are observing the master of the Sabbath day, Christ. That is the Lord's day, that is Sabbath day, which is Sunday. Especially in this main passage, the disciples were walking with Jesus Christ, and they were very hungry and tried to eat this grain and breaking the ear of the grain. And chapter 11 verse 9, and he healed the wind with withered hand. When they are hungry, then they just break the ears of the grains, and it's not lawful. Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 25 says that if you go into your neighbor's standing grain, you may pluck the ears with your hand, but you shall not put the sickle to your neighbor's standing grain. And they just ate this on the Sabbath day. And if they just cut the ear of the grains, then that means they just did work on the Sabbath day. And is it lawful that you did nothing on the Sabbath day, even you don't walk on the street? Because they consider this working. And there is an elevator. There was all the numbers hit, because if they just hit the buttons, then it's also working. And Jesus, looking at his disciples and the Pharisees, and the people were angry because they were working on the seventh day. But he said that I'm greater than the temple, and I'm the master of the seventh day. And the Pharisees and the Jewish people were very angry. And Jewish people and the Pharisees thought that the root of the religion is in the temple. So they just consider the temple precious, the most precious thing. But something greater than the temple is here. If you destroy this temple, then I will restore this in 3 days. Then they got shocked and very furious about this. And the fruit of for Jewish people, the fruit of the Sabbath day is the observation of the Sabbath day. But on this main passage that I'm the master of the Sabbath, and from then the Jewish people and the Pharisees tried to kill him. And they always dispute starting with this observing the Sabbath day. And he healed the people, the sick people, but on the Sabbath day that he healed the one with the withered hand. And the Jewish people got furious that they tried to test him. And he said to the Pharisees that he said that, and something very relevant. And David was chased by the King Saul, and he went into the temple. He got very hungry and went to the temple, and he ate the bread of the presence. And the priest gave the bread of the present to David and his people. That is out of law, but David died. No. God protected David and his people. That's verse 4 and 5. He's talking about David and the story of David. And he talked about the story of priest. And priests tried to observe the Sabbath day, and they tried to kill this sacrifice. Or killing the sacrifice is also working. So he's asking the questions like, is it lawful for the priest to kill the sacrifices? So what is the meaning of this? Then he tried to point all this flow of this observation Sabbath day. So they were literally focused on this observation. So they were tied up these regulations, and they were enslaved by these regulations. The 10 commandments is not given to us for us to observe this or to be saved. What is the purpose of this 10th commandment? It's not given to tie us up. It's a safe guidelines for us to enjoy these blessings within this 10th commandment. But these Pharisees and the Jewish people thought that it's a kind of their regulations. They must be tied up, and they were enslaved by these laws. And he said, "Who is the main master of the Sabbath?" And I am the master of the Sabbath, Jesus said. And very importantly, He said, the Sabbath day is for people or people for Sabbath day. Matthew chapter 2 verse 27. And that the Sabbath is made for men, not men for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. So the Sabbath day is made for men, not men for the Sabbath. It is made for men, and on the Sabbath day we can heal and we can serve people and we can give the strength to people. And who is the Lord of the Sabbath? And it is the Son of Man. And who is the Master of the Sabbath? And we're serving the Lord of the Sabbath. And what do we do on the Sabbath day? We must not tire of this Sabbath day, but we must heal. We must help. We must raise people and must give the comfort to people, like Jesus did. That is the true observation of the Sabbath. Romans 17, verse 5 to 9. That the Sabbath is for the man. It's like Sabbath was given for us to have sustained a wonderful life. Must not tired of this, like what to do and what. You must not do, but you must heal the people on the Sabbath day. You must set free from these laws. That is Sabbath day that was given to you. And the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. It's very important verse. And the Sabbath was made for men. Living on this earth, and that the most important things in the Sabbath day is not done by observing the Sabbath day, but by serving, grabbing hold of these covenants of Christ. Then we can enjoy this true blessing and true meaning of the Sabbath. So in the feast, all the feast and all the special days in the Bible, that's a shadow of the things to come. And these are a shadow of the things to come, but the substance belongs to God. Colossians chapter 2, verse 15 to 17. So it's all this true rest and true Sabbath happen in our lives. So today, we must grab hold of the covenants of the Lord as the Lord of the Sabbath. Then we can save all the fields on the Sabbath day. Then we can enjoy all the blessings given by the Lord. Pharisees criticized the Christ, healing the one with the withered hand. But the Pharisees are described like they looked very normal and complete, but they are the more handicapped than the one with the withered hand. So they are far away from all the interest of Jesus Christ. Because of the Sabbath day, they just got blinded. They cannot see this true meaning of the Sabbath. So verse 11 to 14, then they tried to test Jesus Christ. They tried to put Jesus on the test. So in other words, that they are the more handicapped than the one with the withered hand. So the true master of the Sabbath, they lost the true rest of the Sabbath by killing the Jesus Christ and by killing the meaning of the Jesus Christ. By killing the Jesus Christ, by killing the master of the Sabbath, and they lost the meaning of the Sabbath forever. We must conform the things that God is interested in the most. It's not about observing the Sabbath well. It's about raising people giving comforts to people and healing people. That is the most precious things on the Sabbath day. Let us come to the conclusion. And we must discern what is Sabbath and the Lord's Day. In the Old Testament, the Lord is the Master of Jesus Christ came to this earth, and it's accomplished on the Old Testament. And in the New Testament, we must observe the day of the Lord. And the first day of the week, and he was resurrected. One day after he was resurrected. And the 1 Corinthians chapter 16 verse 1, he wrote the letter to the churches in Corinthians. He talked about the offerings. And the first day, and now concerning the collection of the saints, as I directed the church of the Galatia, you also are to do. On the first day of every week, each of you is to put the things aside and store it up. But we just observe the day of the Lord's Day after he was resurrected. So the Lord's Day is the means that Jesus is the Master of the Lord, Master of the Sabbath. So the first day of the week is the Lord's Day. So what do we have to do on the first day of the week? We must conquer the world, and we must gain the strength and on the Sabbath day. So what is the Lord's Day? We must meditate on His words and focus on His words. And must pray. And must renew and strengthen yourself with His words. So the Lord's Day is like you get into the true rest. Matthew chapter 11 verse 28, heavy laden and they will labor. Must rest. And that is the Lord's Day and the true Sabbath day. And John chapter 14 verse 27, and we must enjoy this true happiness and true peace that the world cannot give you. John chapter 16 verse 33, the Christ to conquer the world and must enjoy these blessings and the gospel. That is the Sabbath day, and that is the Lord's Day. So not only the Sabbath day but also the Lord's Day, the first day of every week, you must renew the strength, and in your field, under any circumstances, you will gain strength and you will be victorious. And through the grace of the Lord, then for a week, then you will gain the strength in the name of Jesus Christ. Father God, thank you that you gave us this grace and love. And you let us know that all this true rest is within Christ. And that is, you are the master of the Lord's Day. And by enjoying the Jesus Christ, we can save this world, and we can give the answers to the world. As an evangelist, we will sustain life. Please bless us the life of the evangelist. I pray in Jesus' holy wonderful name. Amen.